This is Mark Arnaldo reporting from Gen Con 2019. I was walking by this glorious table when I saw this majestic production, and you know that I like war games, so you know that I have to know more about this. And so what we're going to talk about here is Hearts of Iron, the board game, and Hearts of Iron 4. But why don't we ask Alex, who is the boss of this production here, and he can tell us a bit more about this.
Yeah, I'm Alex with Eagle-Gryphon Games, and here to represent Hearts of Iron for the board game. It's actually just Hearts of Iron, the board game, based on the popular PC franchise. And let me bring you over here and show you a little bit about it.
But that tells you, I didn't even know that it was a video game based on it. That's how board game based I am.
Indeed. All right, there you go. So your playtime's gonna be about 3 to 6 hours on this, and it plays as a Euro strategy primarily. Here you have your war map, which is your general overview. As you can see, it's a massive scale board game. Our motto is go big or go home on this one. So you've got 8 armies each, 4 fleets, and 4 air wings, and they're actually represented here. Keep in mind, nothing is final here. This is prototype, all prototype art, just to give you a concept of the idea. Those of you who are familiar with the video game will recognize this similar to your division template. This is where you lay out which divisions, when you produce them, will be in your armies, and they stack out. That also shows you the equipment upgrades that you can add. You can add squad automatic weapons or artillery support, and you can hire commanders to lead your armies. Then the army itself will be represented with this piece right here, a land army kind of flag carrier, if you will. And you'll put him on the war map, and he's going to move around and actually engage, if you want him to, in regional battles here. When this occurs, you actually bring your army from the army board, and you place it over here on the battle map.
Is this the battle map? This
is the battle map here. So there are different size battle maps in the game, everything from a small skirmish to a large scale battle. This is a medium sized battle. And you will lay out your armies, actually set them up blind from each other initially. And then each season of the game, you will play 1 turn each. So each division will get 1 action, essentially, per season, meaning the battles will not resolve immediately. Sometimes they will, but generally they will carry on until you've done enough casualties to the enemy to demoralize them. Their morale gets down to 0, and they're forced to retreat.
Can you tell me what some of those numbers on the counters are?
Absolutely. On the counter, it's kind of, if you're familiar with RPGs, you've got initiative, you've got range, you've got movement, you've got base attack and defense, and you've got hit points. Also, you have rank. You are able to promote your units throughout the game as you gain military experience. And then you have the attack dice and defense dice. Finally, it's a little bit of luck in the game. It's mostly stat-based, but there is some dice rolling, and there's hard attack, soft attack, bombardment, and tactical strike, all from the video game. Different units are better at different things. Finally, we have the nation board, which you'll recognize a lot of the similar options you have in the video game. You have your production queue, where you're producing equipment and armies, or divisions, excuse me. You're assigning factories onto those cards to produce them quicker or slower. Same thing goes for your research. You have a research deck where you're sliding in research cards and researching them. Yes, construction, there's board upgrades. This is all done through worker placement. You have military factories you are assigning to produce things quicker or more slow, and dictate which strategy you're going for.
It really looks like you have a tactical like war game nested into a large Euro game that is used to regulate production and consumption.
That is precisely correct. Yes.
Excellent.
Yes,
and
indeed.
I see those dice are custom dice with all sorts of symbols.
They are, yeah. And I mean, if you roll what you're aiming for, then you get a hit. So pretty straightforward on the combat.
Very intuitive, yes.
Combat focused dice.
I'm hitting infantry. I roll infantry. That's good.
Exactly. Yes, and we'll do unique miniatures for all of our units in the game, so they'll look look pretty awesome when we're all said
Is there a
and done.
specific victory condition or like scenario based with different conditions?
There will be scenarios in the back of the book. There's also a standard core game that's kind of sandboxy, starts everybody off on more or less of an even foot, is neutral, and lets the game get different every time. So we enjoy that. We enjoy having different games every time and not knowing what's going to happen.
So when will the game be available?
Game's going to be available hopefully on Kickstarter this year. We're aiming for October 19th. These things change around, so we'll just have to see. But hopefully produce this year, or I'm sorry, Kickstarter this year, and produce and available at Gen Con next year for those of you who are here. So
Excellent.
Look for us on the internet.
I'll stop by next year to check it out.
Awesome. Sounds great.
Thank you.
Hey, thank you all. Appreciate it.